And where are we? So we are in the middle of California. It's called the Green Belt. Everything from Sacramento down to the Grapevine, just north of LA, is agriculture. If you only get $400 a ton or $500 a ton, you automatically produce more. So you can make up for your farming cost you have. And if you look over here, this is a typical Lodi vineyard where this is just around flowering. They have been pruned and they will be sprayed, and that's about as far as it goes. And there comes the quality control, the quantity control. It simply doesn't matter. It's only coming back if I load them up. And that's why you see a lot of vineyards completely overloaded, because you get based on tonnage. And if you want to make money, you grow 10 to 15 tons. That's about the breaking point, is about 10, 12 tons where you actually can make money. So it's constantly reworking the land, constantly what's next for the money source. And there is trends. We had the olive trends 10 years ago, where everybody pulled out vineyards and planted olives until we could just flood it with olives. Then Spain and Italy, flooded the market with their olives, exported dramatically, and the California olive market fell apart. So we pulled all the olive trees back out and planted grapes again. And now, since about 4 years or 5 years now, we're in the tree planting. We have walnuts, we have almonds. Soon you equal again, and then you'll see if there are any disease comes in, or they turn off the water, because trees takes 4 times as much water than grapes. So if the water regulations will come in place through climate change, we'll see all these trees go back out, and probably grapes coming back in, because they don't need as much water. If your grandfather had the passion for grapes, for quality, for whatever crop it was, maybe the son had not the same passion, the same time, because he was just doing a different job. It was not farming anymore. It was, he has a day job and he just has 1,000 acres and he plants something, and it's his, but the connection between the owner and the farmer, which now often was sourced out, eventually you will lose touch to what you grow and what you actually have. This is the first year I'm working with this vineyard here. So it has been proven that this is actually Carignan. This is planted, we believe, somewhere between 1930 and 1936. We have proof that we have documents showing that they were applying for a winery to make wine in 1940. So they were plants here, they were grapes here before that. We just had documentation is sometimes hard. People are dying off, land gets sold, and then simply forgotten. So the story on this one here, it changed owners. So the owners were pretty old, they died away. They were sold to a different owner. Now, 2 years ago, this land here was offered to the Nicolini family, which had a 1 or 2 year contract in place with one of the big guys, just to get rid of the grapes, to get some money back for your investment. But none of these growers are related with wine. They don't make wine, they don't drink wine. For them, again, it's a commodity. And they came in 2 years ago and they saw the vineyard run down. You see that these old vines were pruned completely wrong. They had an extreme, these were all trees. They were high trees. I mean, you look, this is 8 to 10 feet tall trees. You couldn't see what it actually was, because there was just so much green. And we can go a little bit further into the vineyards and we'll see that. And then you really, the guy comes, finds me in the other vineyard and says, hey, I need somebody who cares. Who can teach me what to do with these grapes? And are you willing to buy these grapes? And I went out and I looked at the grapes and we talked, and I said, there's some conditions I do. I really, really care about this vineyard, because I think it's a privilege to be able to work with grapes like, this age. And we can walk a little bit in here. They deserve more than just being rotten away and every year just misused. The more you hang on these guys, the less they can do because they simply don't have the power anymore. So give them some grace and some elegance and cut off half your leaves, right? So you don't have to push so hard. So you can really focus on what actually we have. And that was the first thing he says, you know, if you guide us through, and I said, I guide you through the year, I tell you what to do, but you have to listen. You have to listen every time I tell you to do something. Don't question it, just do it. And if these grapes are getting ripe, I will use or sell anything I can, as much as I can, to other growers or other wineries, just to showcase what we here of this region can do. This is one of the benefits that, you know, Napa Sonoma cannot do this because this is not something you buy. And that you have plants that thick, that old, that is just, for me, that is just a beautiful place to be. We can turn it around and suddenly it's a benefit to be here because it's actually at the price point where we can work with. We can make this product available to the customer at a, you know, $30 or $40 retail price in the bottle. It doesn't have to be $150. And it's not the question anymore. It's not the question anymore, does it make sense to farm it? I pay him way more than what he got last year, but it's about that he is listening. And we had an average of almost 70 spurs per vine, which is just hilarious.
Wow.
So now we did it down to about 15. So we really want to make sure that wherever we want it grow, you see here, we have a lot of shoots coming out of nowhere land here, just here. And so we can just take those off because they're usually not fruitful. It's usually just to grow the growth, which we don't really want here. So where we pruned with the 2 spurs, we have the clusters coming. We are working only, this is planted east-west, so we have to orient, look at the sun. The sun is beating you on the south side. So if you work in these vineyards, you work only on the north side. So you keep the south side shaded. All the grapes are shaded naturally by the leaves. But if you want to open them up a little bit, you want to open the middle out. So it's not, and that's one of the crazy things. You don't have to spend $1 million in here to make it work. The only thing I request is interest and passion and be thankful what you have. And I think and it's free. And that's the thing, it's free. And I have that, so that's our cooperation we have. He's listening, I'm buying the fruit from him, but you know, I'm here 2-3 times a week. I'm not getting paid for that. But for me, it's a privilege to be in here during the time, because this, I believe, it's priceless. I met with him a couple days ago, and this was the first time I saw a smile on his face saying, you know what, this is actually a happy plant. We see a lot of green leaves, we see a lot of green tendrils. That means water is available for the plant. We see the darker green in the leaves. That means that is already an existing, long existing leaf. I mean, look at the size of that leaf. I mean, that's just tremendous. And you have the young growth, which is a lighter green, but a happy place itself. I'll make this. This is a promise. I'll make this to one of the most famous vineyards in Lodi, and then it will be priceless for him as well. Actually, you have access. We have some vineyards, Kirschenmann Block, where you have, you know, waiting lists to get grapes. This will be one of it coming up. Give me 2 years, and this will be there. It takes a couple of years to. We prune them pretty harsh, and so it will take a little bit of time to get adjusted to it. Okay, this is the Nicolini ranch. Off of no map. That's on no maps yet. 3 to 5 years, this will be on one of the premier maps. It was forgotten. Nobody had an idea, wanted to work with, or had an interest in it. Because again, Carignan, who cares?